afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hope you had your lunch.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Thank you, sir.
How are you enjoying the railway police force?
So I have not yet joined the training. My training starts from February 1st week, sir.
Oh. Do you look forward to enjoying that training?
Yes, sir. From the 2 days induction program which I got while joining the service seems to be quite prestigious, and there is a lot of training in terms of physical training in the service. So I'm looking forward to enjoy it, sir.
What was induction given to you?
So we were taught about the history of the Railway Protection Force Service, and there was a museum of railways inside the academy. So we were given a tour of that and a tour of some weapons involved in the RPF force, sir.
What law governs your service?
So there are two laws. One is the Railways Act of 1989, and the other one is the RPF Act of. I'm not able to remember the year, sir, but it's the RPF Act, sir.
This was told to you in induction, both laws?
Yes, sir.
How does the work of railway police differ from other regular police?
So there are three police involved in state. One is the civil police, second is the general railway police of the state government, and third is the RPF. RPF is involved in the moving trains of security of the moving trains of the railways. The GRP is involved on the security of the stations, and whenever there is an investigation of a crime, the civil police is involved in the investigation process.
Good, Akshat. Keep it up.
Thank you, sir.
All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Akshat.
Good afternoon, sir.
Commerce and accountancy being your subject,
Yes, sir.
tell me, Indian accounting standards, their convergence with IFRS. What are the implications for, basically accounting in the public sector undertakings?
May I take a few seconds?
Please, please.
So the first and foremost change would be that the Indian accounting standards followed by the PSUs now will be internationally comparable with other companies and MNCs. Secondly, there is a huge change about fair valuation of assets and liabilities. This would enable to gauge the current financial position of the PSUs. This would improve their operational efficiency as well as profitability, sir.
Agreed. What is the role of AI and blockchain in developing the autonomous audit system as is being done by the CAG nowadays? And how will it help in curbing the corporate frauds like layering?
So the blockchain technology is crucial for ensuring integrated data collection as well as processing, and the AI is efficient and important in pattern recognition as well as predictive analysis of frauds. This would enable the auditors to predictively analyze which areas are more vulnerable for fraud detection. In terms of layering, we can use AI in order to recognize the patterns where we have large number of transactions through shell companies. We can use AI for analyzing the nature of the shell companies and identifying them in order to catch them, sir.
Last question.
Yes, sir.
There are three types of motions in Indian Parliament, right? So what is the difference between substantive, substitute and supplementary motions?
So substantive motion is a motion which is independent of itself. It is used in areas such as the removal of the vice president. The substitute motion is a motion in order to substitute a bill which is already present in the parliament. And I'm sorry, sir, I forgot the third
All
name.
right. Thank you. Sir.
Hello. So let us talk a bit more about tax compliance.
Yes,
These
sir.
GLOB rules that are there in place.
Sorry, sir.
GLOB rules that are there with effective tax returns that MNCs have to comply with. Are you aware of that?
I'm sorry, sir, I'm not aware of it.
Okay. Basically, this is effective tax returns on the way they report their compliances, the companies audit over many countries. How do you look at that administration? But anyways, let's not talk about that. Slippery slope framework. Can you tell me a bit about it? Because you have interest in behavioral economics, as I said.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this framework is important in terms of analyzing the behavior of people, where if a person sees some crime happening in the society, there might be an inclination to increase in the crime rates of the society because of the slippery slope framework.
Does it have to do something with trust dynamics of people and, for instance, if you take tax agencies, how do you apply slippery slope framework?
Sir, if I apply to tax agencies, if there is a trust deficit between the government and the citizens regarding the expenditure of tax revenue, there could be a phenomena where people would try to avoid more taxes, and if a person knows that other person is avoiding tax, there would be a slippery slope framework where even that person would try to avoid tax in order to get equanimity with the other person.
There is nothing to do with the deterrence of the agency and behavior, because we are talking about behavioral economics.
Yes, sir.
The propensity or the tendency to pay taxes and the deterrence of the law. No correction there.
So I really have limited knowledge. I'm sorry, sir.
That is fine. That is fine. So you like painting also?
Yes, sir.
You have a physical CCRT. Arbindranath Tagore or Nandalal Ghosh. What these names bring to your mind?
So these are renowned painters from our modern Indian history.
Which school particularly?
So they are modern painters. They used to paint portraits of various individuals.
Any particular school of painting they belong to? Famous paintings that you know of any of these painters?
I'll have to read about it, so I'm sorry.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Akshat,
Yes, ma'am.
why our rivers are dying? Can you share details of some projects from different states where they have resolved their problem of water scarcity?
Ma'am, there are a few reasons why rivers are dying. First reason is that overuse of water through agriculture as well as industrial use. Second reason is siltation of the rivers, which is leading to lower capacity of the rivers. And third is climate change, which is also leading to drying of the rivers. In terms of states which have improved their water capacity, I am reminded of Maharashtra, which has introduced the Jal Yukt Shivar Abhiyan, which ensures increased availability of river water and as well as irrigation facilities over the state.
Can
Secondly,
you name some project?
ma'am, there is the Vaitirani River
I mean
project.
some place where we have achieved.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, there is the Vaitirani River project, which is undergoing in the Marathwada region. And secondly, there's also the Vainganga River project in the Vidarbha region, which is being done in this regard.
What do you understand by aspirational districts? And if you can highlight some of them in Maharashtra, it will be good.
Ma'am, aspirational districts are those districts which have poor indicators in terms of socio-economic criteria. These have been identified by Niti Aayog in order to introduce a targeted program to improve their performance. In Maharashtra, Gadchiroli is one of the ADPs which is designated.
Who was Mr. Jagjeevan Ram?
Jagjeevan Ram, Sri Jagjeevan Ram was in the government for 30 years in various ministries. The first ministry he was in was the Labour Ministry, in which he did the labour reforms. Then he came to the Defence Ministry.
Why is he known for? I know that you must be knowing all the ministries, but why is he known even today?
Ma'am, he is a pioneer of Dalits and a role model for Dalits. He is known for that. Secondly, he is also known for modernizing the railways and for staff welfare of the railways. Thirdly, he is known for implementing the Green Revolution in administrative and political capacity. And fourthly, he is also known for defense reforms during the India-Pakistan War of 1971. Thank you.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good, sir. Thank you.
Good. What is GAAP?
So these are the general anti-avoidance rules in the Income Tax Act, which aim to prevent any undue tax advantage which is claimed by the companies.
Okay. Lately, was there a Supreme Court judgment related to
Yes, sir.
this? What
So-
is that judgment?
So this was the judgment in the case of Tiger Global, who sold the shares of Flipkart to Walmart through a company in the Mauritius, which held shares in a company in Singapore. So this was the layering done in that case, sir.
What is the difference between retrospective tax and retrospective amendment?
So retrospective amendment is an amendment which takes effect from a back date, and retrospective tax is part of the retrospective amendment that takes place.
Okay. When we talk of water, what is pH value?
So it is the level of acidity in the water, sir.
Not level of alkaline.
Yes, sir. If it's more than 7, it is the alkaline water. If it's less than 7, it is the acidic water, sir.
What blood group would we be talking about if we were looking for a universal plasma donor?
So it would be O positive for a universal plasma donor.
That's a universal blood donor, not plasma.
I'm sorry, sir.
Okay, look it up, doesn't matter. What is your view on the current trade relations between India and USA and the tariffs which have been imposed?
May I take a few seconds, sir?
Yep.
So we are currently under the trade negotiations for a free trade agreement with USA. However, USA has imposed tariffs on India and a penalty for buying Russian oil. This has impacted India's exports to US, and we have included this in the negotiations. However, we are maintaining a strategic patience because US is a huge trading partner for us and very significant in terms of our exports. So we are trying to expedite the fulfillment of the trade deals.
Okay, last question. You were mentioned a term, strategic patience. That's the first time I heard that one. So, but don't you think that's simply an euphemism for हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते यार चुप बैठो?
So I think this is a form of restraint wherein we are not trying to harm our relations with USA, and we are trying to do this because this is in our national interest and interest of our country's economic security. That is why we are trying to keep patience with what the current scenario is. And we are also diversifying our exports to other countries. In this way, we are also trying to have a FTA with European Union, and this will help us in the future, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Does India have US treasury bonds?
Yes, sir. India does have US Treasury bonds.
In recent times, what are we doing to those treasury bonds?
So I'm not exactly aware, but I would like to guess, sir.
Mhm.
So we are selling those treasury bonds and buying gold in return for that, sir.
Why?
So because we are as the global uncertainty increases, and as there is speculation about cutting federal rates, there is increased movement towards gold, and we are trying to invest more in gold in order to ensure forex security, sir.
Is that strategic patience?
So I think it would be in line with our vision to ensure economic security, and this is in line with the changing geopolitical scenario. So
No, in a way, what I mean to say is, are we not giving it back to USA?
yes, sir, we are giving it back to you.
So, you want to describe that as whatever you mean by strategic patience? And like he said, we heard the term for the first time, which is okay. You are always welcome to use some terms but when we are giving it back to USA.
So I think this is where India has a diplomatic policy.
Okay. You described Jagjeevan Ram as a role model for Dalits.
Yes, sir.
In what sense?
Sir, Jagjeevan Ramji has been a cabinet minister for 30 years, and to have a position in the post-independence era at that level is a role model for Dalits. He also has pioneered many social reforms for Dalits in order to increase their participation in governance. For example, he was the one who was the first minister to introduce a government order to provide reservation in promotions to lower castes. Sir.
Tell us new books you read during last year.
Sir, I read 3 books in the last few months. First is The Nudge by Richard Thaler. Second is The Courage to be Disliked by Ishikati Kamo. And third one is Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. Sir.
Okay. Richard Thaler actually has come up with a book after Nudge. That's a new one. So if you read Nudge this year,
Yes, sir.
in terms of Nudge, you are a bit late.
Yes, sir.
Plus he has come out with one more book on behavioral economics.
I'll have to read more about it, sir.
Okay. And what does Daniel Kahneman
Yes, sir.
mean by the phrase thinking fast, thinking slow?
So Daniel Kahneman describes our brain system into 2 systems, System 1 and System 2. The System 1 is the system which is fast but not analytical. This system describes our immediate response to a situation. This is the thinking fast portion. The System 2 is an analytical and intuitive system wherein it thinks and then responds to our situations. That is the thinking slow part. Sir.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Questions I had thought of, but I thought to have more time for this discussion.
Yes, sir.
But first of all, you tell us your own self-analysis.
So I think I was lacking in some knowledge here,
Uh.
a few terms which are more important for taxation purposes. Secondly, there was the strategic patience thing. which
No,
was-
you can use that word. There is
Good
no
point,
problem.
But I would not. I was not able to defend the word when you asked a
Explain the
counter
word.
question. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And
In terms of foreign policy, the term that is being used is strategic restraint.
okay.
But of course, in terms of are we quietly in our own way? No dialogue baji, no outward reactions, but we are quietly giving it back to US.
Yes, sir.
Even in trade talks, we are not budging to US demands.
Yes, sir.
And then in fact quietly our commerce minister would say we don't negotiate under a timeline. So it's like telling them don't give us ultimatums. That's not how we negotiate, etc. But there is no problem with you using the term strategic patience.
Okay, sir.
Actually patience is always strategic.
Right.
But I am happy to tell you that you are definitely better prepared than last time.
Thank you, sir.
So like if last time we thought and UPSC seems to agree with 175,
Yes.
at least as of today I will say 183.
Okay, sir.
But still let's not be satisfied with this.
No, sir.
Let's go for another 30 marks. And the suggestions we are making are meant not because there is something lacking, but because this time you should aim at like best of the scores. That will mean basically conceptualizing the interview properly. That now this will be your second interview with UPSC. Therefore, it could go in a different direction.
Okay.
So I always call this as zero-based budgeting in interview preparation. Take nothing for granted. There are lessons to learn, yes, but prepare afresh and be ready and prepare accordingly. That it's possible that the panel this time may think, let us ask him something new.
Okay.
That since he has given one previous interview and he knows the process, and meanwhile he is also now allotted to Railway Police Force, which okay, he has not joined, but he knows the process. Let us ask him something new. So something new will mean everything current. That's what the UPSC panel may want to see, that how you have kept yourself update in areas that relate to your life, so areas that relate to your DAF, also areas that any UPSC aspirant is expected to know, which themselves of course are multi-dimensional.
Yes.
So in coming days, to think of how to bring update on all entries on the DAF, plus being update on UPSC preparation. I also jotted down some areas to specifically bring to your notice. One is of course all kinds of current. So it will mean current for Maharashtra including Sambhajinagar. So issues in Marathwada, and current for India and the world. Current in the field of commerce and accountancy. So it could be about accountancy or it could be about commerce, trade, therefore rupee dollar, Indo-US trade, overall global trade, etc. Also current in foreign policy and everything. Also that your interview is on 3rd of February.
Yes.
Could mean discussion on economy,
Budget.
yeah, budgets, survey, and therefore any area from economy.
Okay, sir.
Some panel member may connect your optional commerce and then pick up something from the budget about say trade, etc., like production linked incentives, PLI, or many such issues, but that is one area. Secondly, what we describe as non-DAF interview. Get ready, get the mind ready for what we describe as non-DAF interview. Your mind to be ready, that questions need not necessarily be restricted to or emerge from the DAF, but this time the panel में कि okay, कुछ अलग पूछ लेते हैं, कुछ नया पूछ लेते हैं. That is what we describe as like non-DAF. Then law, now that you completed, did you complete masters in law?
No, sir. This is a 3-year LLB degree. Normal LLB, sir.
So last time you were doing that,
I was in
and
first
now you
year.
have completed it.
Yes.
So possibly discussion on law, various angles. So constitution, law, 3 new laws, etc. For a law graduate, panel will expect sharper answers, including the legal terminology. And so law, constitution, recent Supreme Court rulings, brush up on all of them.
Okay, sir.
Then with the name Jagjeevan Ram for the academy, do prepare for on Jagjeevan Ram. As is almost true for every human being, so also for Jagjeevan Ram. And there are some negatives. He forgot to pay income tax for 10 years. That's what he said when he was caught. India's cabinet minister not paying income tax. Finally, when he was caught, he said, "Oh my God, I just forgot to pay." Okay. But if you really want to say Jagjeevan Ram as a role model for Dalits, those are the words you used.
Yes, sir.
You should be able to explain and justify why you are saying so. Let me tell you my take. He chose not to convert. Although what Ambedkar also did, the word convert is not applicable. Convert is not in Bharatiya concept. It's an Abrahamic concept. Our word is Diksha.
Yes.
So Baba Saheb Ambedkar took Diksha of Bauddha Dharma. Okay. Jagjeevan Ram's position was, we will fight for social equality within our social structure. He said, I will not leave being Hindu. He said, we are Hindus, we are against caste system, we want equal rights for Dalits, but we will not leave the Hindu fold to establish equality. That is where their positions differ. Ambedkar chose to take Diksha of Buddhism. Jagjeevan Ram consciously chose to stay within Hindu fold but fight for equality and annihilation of caste. I also must tell you that actually he was an outstanding orator. Those aspects of his personality are hardly known. He was an outstanding orator. And like you rightly remembered, but that is also the thing, that when it comes to 71 war, nobody remembers that he was the defense minister. On one side, entire credit goes to Indira Gandhi,
Yes, sir.
or people remember Sam Manekshaw. People also remember Lieutenant General Jagjit Singh Arora as the commanding officer in charge of Eastern Command,
Yes, sir.
or Major General Jacob. But nobody remembers that it was Jagjeevan Ram who was the defense minister. But broadly speaking, this one. Lastly, again, these two areas that could not come up, and like I said, I thought of sparing more time during interaction. One is, our suggestion is, do prepare for railways in a multi-dimensional way. So not only that you as railway police force officer and who has just gone through the 2-day induction, I would say you have time on hand, go deep into various issues. So the railway network, the technological angle, administrative angle, financial angle of railways, railways as a service, recent improvements in railways, how Indian railways are coming up very fast, including budgetary provisions, budgetary provisions for railways in the budget that Nirmala Sitharaman will present on 1st of February. Also a little bit of history of Indian railways. Actually, there is a small 200-page book, beautiful one, on history of Indian railways. That will help you understand. But if you do so, then you are telling the panel how seriously you take your duties, how in spite of not having joined or undergone training in IRPFS, you have still taken time to go into the issues of railways. So our suggestion is, with 10 plus days, do look into all those.
Okay, sir. So the book's name?
Actually, he is a senior railway officer, retired meanwhile.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm forgetting, but it's a regular pocket size book, typical.
I'll check.
History of Indian Railways. R something. It's a South Indian name. R something. Or a great railway man himself is Sridharan,
Yes, sir.
who also wrote autobiography. Biography, not auto, biography, with the name Karma Yogi. It talks of metros, it talks of Konkan Railway, etc. That may give you a glimpse to understand. And then for the time being, lastly, remember that service preferences can come up for discussion. So you are saying these 5-6 ones,
Yes, sir.
including IPS, IRS, both IRSs. You are saying IRMS traffic,
Yes, sir.
audit and account, IRMS account. Okay.
Are you talking about this book?
This one, absolutely.
Rajendra.
Yeah. R, like I said, R something.
Rajendra Aklekar.
R something.
Thank you.
This book, yeah, absolutely.
Aklekar.
Yes, sir.
Rajendra Aklekar. So, someone on the panel may want to discuss that in a way that you are choosing these services, it means you are placing them above railway police force. So, the discussion why?
So I'm not able to frame the answer as to why, because every answer I frame, there's a counter question which I'm not able to defend. So the answer I had framed was that this service would be providing me a deep sectoral experience within the railways. However, I want to work in a more diverse canvas where I get the opportunity for making impact at the grassroots level as well in various areas. And secondly, I would also like to work in areas of policy formulation, which is my interest. So.
That
Would
last,
you take foreign service
No.
policy formulation?
yeah,
You have said not opted.
not opted altogether.
So I think I would want to stay within India and to stay
Yeah,
within.
so why are you scared of going out of India? If tomorrow the railway takes up a project somewhere abroad,
Yeah.
you will refuse to go?
No, sir. I would not refuse to go, but as the only child, I would like to stay within India with my family, sir.
Actually, for that foreign service not opted, there is a perfectly legitimate escape route that UPSC itself has given you. That is, if you opt for and you are allotted to IFS, you can't even appear for civil service exam again.
So this is my last attempt.
This is as it is the last attempt. Okay, in that case, the discussion can come up. Why not foreign service?
So what should I say, sir? What would be the right answer?
At that last part, sort of, I am the only child and my presence is required to look after my parents. Although, what he is already indicating, someone on the panel may still discuss that. That even in foreign service, your parents can accompany you. There are special arrangements, there are special allowances, etc. You can still say, my parents are attached to, say, our home at Sambhajinagar. Usually at such an age it does happen. But then again, if you get like Nagaland cadre in IS, then how are you going to look after parents? So you need to still apply your mind. Keep in touch. Even before 3rd February you proceed. We can always spare some time finally discussing what are the legitimate answers you can come up with. But as to other services also, that in a way that you are ready to join these services means there is something for which you think they are sort of better or they are sort of above IRPFS.
How should I say it, sir, while not making it seem like IRPFS is a
But
not-
honestly, what is it they offer you which this one does not offer you? Matlab, it has not come very clearly from your diversity, etc. You have said.
Yes, sir.
But how, in what manner, they give you the diversity.
So, for example, in IS we have
IS is
postings in
fine. Other services.
Yes, in IRS that is my own area, so I would be more attracted to
right.
IRS than IRPFS.
Right.
Chartered accountancy.
Same.
Yes.
Same about audit and accounts you can say.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
Same about railway accounts you
Most
can
of the
say.
services are aligned with
Ah.
the score competency.
Yeah.
as well.
Only
That you
IS
can
and
legitimately.
IPS I am not able to defend.
Ah.
IS I can defend with diversity, but
Ah.
IPS is law and order.
No, same again.
There
Diversity.
is a financial law and
Ah.
order angle also.
Ah.
You thought about it?
Because
Cheating,
cyber.
fraud, cyber
Yes,
crime.
Oh, cyber is going to be the reality of next 50 years. It's going to be big.
Revenue intelligence is
So that gives you a chance.
Yeah.
As a start, keep thinking about it. I think you have the valid answer. You will be able to come.
एक भी रोड नहीं है दिल्ली में.
हाँ,
और
yeah,
BK
yeah,
Krishna
yeah.
Menon who gave you 1962 का defeat.
Yeah, उसका
that is
रास्ता
a
है.
prime road in.
उसका रास्ता है. It's like no road named after Jagjivan Ram.
Okay.
But there is no road after BK Krishna Menon
Yeah.
who gave us the 1962
Yeah,
defeat.
debacle. Right. Yeah, actually, on the basis of commerce and accounts, all other services do justify. That you can point out. That with my background, I thought I would still be better in these services. That automatically takes care of not describing railway police
Acha,
service as anything less. That settles it.
So, but they still ask them why is IRS not above IS and IPS?
Huh. No, that of course, I mean, IAS, I don't think anybody will question.
Okay.
And you can use that to say main goal given the choice is to join IS. And with IPS, it does offer diversity, it does offer direct contact with common people, and as you progress in the career, yes, possibility in sharing in policy making. That you can place. Someone may want to sort of pin you down on foreign service. There you may still think carefully about why are you placing foreign service so low. And now that you reminded us, although I am happy to tell you, Akshat, that in the formal interview part,
Yes, sir.
I am happy to tell you that we did not sense any pressure on you that this is my last attempt.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Thank you, sir.
So it's a plus point. Now that it's a plus point, I will in fact urge you to turn it to your advantage. In the sense that if you tell your mind that this is my last chance, mark of a champion is to come out with better than our best when under pressure. That this is my last chance. You're not much into tennis or sport, are you?
I play basketball, sir.
You play basketball, okay. You remember Magic Johnson?
Yes.
I remember one of his moment, which is there, you'll find the clip. Actually, Magic Johnson picks up the ball in his under his basket. And it's all in slow motion. Huh? His team is trailing by two points.
Okay.
Magic Johnson picks up the ball. And the watch is ticking, showing barely 3 seconds. And in the slow motion, you can see that he actually picks up the ball, looks at the watch, and knows that the time is against him. Okay? But from his side, he throws the ball, and it's a perfect basket, getting 3 points, and his team won by 1 point. So that is a mark of a champion. That under tremendous pressure, ability to come out with better than your best. Okay, he knows last 3 seconds ticking away. Right?
Yes, sir.
So, because we saw that you are not showing any pressure, now I am urging you to turn it to in fact your advantage. That this is my last chance and I'll make it. I'll make it. Right? 10 days to go.
Sir, I have a few questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, somebody told me that these specs are not formal.
Don't worry.
No,
It's
no.
okay.
Not at all. Absolutely. As long as you are comfortable.
No.
Yeah.
The specs I thought was
Not formal. Someone, I don't know who are these people. But just don't worry. Absolutely.
Don't even
As long
bother.
as you are comfortable.
Yes.
Huh.
So second thing about meditative painting and sketching.
Hmm.
I have been grilled a lot that why is it meditative? Actually, what I do is I try to focus on the process of painting, wherein I focus more on the strokes and the movement of the brush, and I try to align my breathing with it. So that helps me relax my mind and also helps me clear
Yeah.
the mental clutter
Yeah.
which is going on in my mind.
Yeah.
But the counter question that comes is that every painting is then meditative in that
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
So I say that my outcome is not to create a good painting or a masterpiece. Rather, my aim is to enable my own mental clarity and calmness. But still, no, like the member is not convinced. So, if you can suggest me.
Yeah. Just one beautiful line.
Yes, sir.
That by definition, the very undertaking of painting is meditation. There is nothing you have to do. That automatically, including that I focus on breathing. You don't have to focus on breathing. You have to immerse yourself into the artistic experience of painting. That is meditation. So, the sutra I am suggesting is that act of painting itself is meditation.
So if they say, then why you have written
Why?
meditative painting? It's okay. Fine. It is an
No,
unnecessary.
to that also I will add one line then. Okay? That while yes, the act of painting itself is meditation, I consciously undertake painting as my meditation. So that element of consciousness is important. So what can happen is best of like Van Gogh, Rembrandt, Picasso, if you like. Personally, I must tell you, I don't. He's great, I
like
understand.
Van Gogh, sir.
Van Gogh, again, my man.
Yes, sir.
Van Gogh, Rembrandt, we have Indian painters, some of them staying in Pune also, world's greatest, D.V. Gaitonde, D.V. Gaitonde,
DV Gaitonde.
or Ravi Paranspe, who just passed away. We were, of course, good friends, but absolutely great.
Raza also got it.
Okay, yeah, Sayyid Haidar Raza, devotee of Lokmanya Tilak.
Yeah. Very Indian actually. Name doesn't matter. Very Indian.
Rooted in Bharatiya Sanskriti.
And the reason reason I asked you about these two names specifically connect to the fact that these were driven by a very spiritual discourse that was part of these two painters that I asked you about. And the Japanese line technique, very meditative practices actually, light colors, one Bharat Mata, the whole manifestation of that Devi happens through this style, Bengal schools. So very connected to what you have written, so that is the reason I asked you.
Okay, sir. I'll read more about it.
Yeah.
You remember the whole concept of mandala art?
Yes, sir.
That is meditation.
Yeah, that is also.
So should I mention this?
Yeah, if you
I
can
have not
discuss.
done it, sir.
Then the suggestion is no.
Okay.
I mean, one of the key principles is to speak from experience.
Yes, sir.
The Marathi phrase, beautiful phrase is prachiti che bol. प्रचित तुम्ही जे बोलता ते जेव्हा काय बोलता हे कळलंय म्हणून बोलताय यू नीड नो स्पेशल अटेम्प्ट टू मेक एन इम्पॅक्ट इट ऑटोमॅटिकली मेक्स एन इम्पॅक्ट बिकॉज इट्स कमिंग फ्रॉम रिअलायझेशन
What medium do you paint in? Water?
Watercolors.
Question can come on that.
मुळीक
Yeah?
मी त्याचं पहिलं नाव का विसरतोय
Oh.
करंट लिव्हिंग पर्सनल मिलिंद मुळीक
Landscapes.
in my eyes he is the best living specialist in watercolor painting. You'll find him big time on various social media. There are his handles also, but out of this world, absolutely. Right? Great, Akshat. 200 plus, huh? In fact,
I'll work upon
yeah.
So-
To add another 30 marks.
I'll also contact you regarding
Absolutely,
the
anytime.
IFS and
Absolutely.
when I prepare.
Anytime.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you can keep my number. Niranjal will give you my number.
Okay, sir.
Bless you.
Thank
These
you.
are notes for you.
Thank you, sir.
214 this time.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.